those ideas before they infect the whole country. That's the media position on that. The only problem is that what Vigano wrote is actually true. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is factually accurate. Watch this video from September. You may not have seen it. It wasn't played much in this country. This is the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, speaking to the United Nations.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
Oh, this is our chance, says Justin Trudeau. Not our chance to save you from a virus with a 99% survival rate. You'll almost certainly be fine, and they're fully aware of that. This is our chance to impose totally unprecedented social controls on the population in order to bypass democracy and change everything to conform with their weird academic theories that have never been tested in the real world and, by the way, don't actually make sense. This is their chance. Quote, this pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset, end quote. Keep in mind, that's not from QAnon. That is a head of state talking. And he's not alone. Klaus Schwab is the founder of the World Economic Forum. Schwab has written a book called COVID-19, The Great Reset. The book isn't really about science or medicine. No. Instead, it describes, quote, what changes will be needed to create a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable world going forward, end quote. What changes is Schwab talking about? We don't know. What we're certain of is that you're going to pay for them, and the people in charge will benefit from them. You can bet on that. What's telling is how different this is now from the way our leaders were talking back when the pandemic began. So statewide coronavirus lockdowns in this country started about 8 months ago in mid-March. At the time, California's governor, Gavin Newsom, predicted that 56% of his state's population, that's more than 25 million people, would become infected with the virus within 8 weeks. Businesses would need to shut down, Newsom acknowledged, but he also promised it would all be over soon. Quote, this is not a permanent state, Newsom assured us. It is a moment in time. And that should have made us nervous. Because in the end, that moment continued indefinitely. Pretty soon, Gavin Newsom was telling us who we were allowed to be around and who we were allowed to talk to.
As always, I want to remind you, limit your mixing with people outside of your household. It's just common sense, but the data suggests not everybody is practicing common sense.
Okay. So that was in July, when Gavin Newsom told the data suggest. What have we learned from the data since then? Well, as of November 15th, about 2.6% of the total state of California has been infected. That's roughly 20 million fewer people than Gavin Newsom predicted would be infected by May. So in some ways, that looks like a victory. Can we declare victory? No, just the opposite. Today, Newsom announced that more lockdowns are underway. California, he said, is pulling the emergency brake. The emergency brake on life itself. Tonight, 41 counties in our biggest state are under the most restrictive form of lockdown. Churches, gyms, restaurants, etc. cannot conduct any kind of indoor operations. So on what grounds is Gavin Newsom declaring this? Well, scientific grounds, of course. Gavin Newsom believes in science, but he doesn't believe in it for himself. Because personally, as a man, Gavin Newsom is exempt from the laws of epidemiology. And we know this because 9 days ago, the governor was caught violating his own guidelines, eating at one of the state's most expensive restaurants with a dozen other people.